What would you do if the woman you loved, the one you built a life with, shattered your world with a single, careless digital footprint? I never thought I would find myself staring at a glowing phone screen at 2 a.m., the harsh blue light illuminating a truth so ugly it made my stomach churn. It wasn't a text or a suspicious call log. It was a folder, buried deep within her cloud drive, labeled innocently enough, Vacation Pics 2023. But the images inside were of our family trip to Maui. They were of her, my wife Sarah, in a luxury hotel suite in downtown Los Angeles. On Wilshire Boulevard, with another man. His arm was around her, his face too close, a smug, possessive smile plastered across his lips. My breath hitched, a cold dread seeping into my bones. The metadata confirmed it, taken just last month, during her business trip to San Francisco. The world tilted, and I knew with a sickening certainty that my life as I knew it was over. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The first few weeks were a blur of disbelief and a profound sense of humiliation. Every touch, every shared laugh, every I love you from Sarah felt like a poisoned dart. I saw her, but I didn't see her. The woman I married, the mother of my children, was a stranger. The betrayal wasn't just an act, it was a complete redefinition of our entire history. I felt like a fool, a cuckold, a punchline and a cruel joke only I wasn't in on. The shame was a physical weight, pressing down on my chest, making it hard to breathe. Then came the strange behaviors. Late nights at the office became more frequent. Her phone, once left carelessly on the counter, was now glued to her hip, face down. She started dressing differently, a new perfume, a subtle glow that wasn't for me. Her eyes, when they met mine, held a distant, almost calculating look. I tried to talk, to connect. But she'd brush me off with a curt, "I'm tired," or "you reimagining things." The emotional distance grew into a chasm. The discovery wasn't a sudden explosion, but a slow, agonizing unraveling. I started noticing the small things. A receipt for a high-end restaurant in Beverly Hills, far from her usual lunch spots, tucked into her purse. A text message notification flashing on her locked screen. A heart emoji from an unknown number. The way she'd suddenly clam up if I walked into the room while she was on the phone. Each tiny piece of evidence was a shard of glass, cutting deeper and deeper. I felt like a detective in my own life, piecing together the fragments of a shattered reality. As the evidence mounted, Sarah became colder, more manipulative. She'd gaslight me, twisting my observations into accusations of paranoia. "You're being insecure, Mark," she'd say, her voice dripping with feigned concern. "Maybe you need therapy." She started picking fights, creating distance, making me feel like I was the problem. It was a classic tactic, I realized later, to justify her actions and push me away. She was building her escape route, brick by painful brick, and I was too numb to stop her. A fair partner, a man named David Miller, a junior partner at her firm, seemed to revel in his perceived victory. I saw him once, picking her up from a late meeting outside her office building on Figueroa Street. He gave me a quick, dismissive nod, a smirk playing on his lips, as if he knew everything and was enjoying my ignorance. They both seemed to feel untouchable, shielded by their deceit, believing their secret was safe. Their arrogance fueled a quiet rage within me, a cold fire that began to burn away my grief. I hit rock bottom. There were nights I'd sit in the dark, staring at the ceiling, tears silently streaming down my face. The emotional pain was unbearable, a constant ache that permeated every fiber of my being. I lost weight, couldn't sleep, and the joy had drained from my life. My children noticed, asking why Daddy was so sad. Their innocent questions were a fresh stab to the heart. I was broken, a shell of the man I once was. But in that brokenness, a new resolve began to form. The tears dried, replaced by a steely determination. I wouldn't just survive, I would make them pay. My transformation began. I started secretly gathering proof, meticulously, patiently. I hired a private investigator, a discreet woman named Elena, who worked out of a small office in a strip mall off Santa Monica Boulevard. She confirmed my suspicions, providing photos, hotel receipts, and even audio recordings of their hushed conversations in a coffee shop near Pershing Square. I backed up everything from Sarah's cloud drive. Not just the vacation pics 2023, but emails, texts, financial records, anything that could paint a complete picture of her deception. I consulted with a divorce attorney, a sharp, no-nonsense woman who specialized in high-asset cases. Her advice was clear: build an ironclad case. Then came the traps. I didn't want a messy public confrontation. I wanted surgical precision. I set up a shell company, a seemingly legitimate investment opportunity, and subtly introduced it to David through a mutual acquaintance. He, blinded by his ambition and arrogance, took the bait, pouring a significant portion of his savings into it, believing he was getting an insider deal. Simultaneously, I orchestrated a series of anonymous tips to Sarah's firm's HR department, detailing her inappropriate relationship with a subordinate and hinting at potential misuse of company resources, all carefully crafted to avoid direct accusation but to raise red flags. I also ensured the photos from her cloud drive, along with other incriminating evidence, found their way to the right people, not directly from me, but through a convoluted digital trail that led back to an untraceable source. The public exposure wasn't a single event, but a cascade. First, David's investment collapsed, wiping out his savings and leaving him in financial ruin. The HR investigation at Sarah's firm escalated, fueled by the anonymous tips and the subtle leaks of information. The photos, the hotel receipts, the carefully curated evidence of her affair and professional misconduct began to circulate among her colleagues. The whispers turned into open condemnation. Her reputation, once pristine, crumbled. The firm, eager to protect its image, quietly terminated her employment, citing violations of company policy and ethical conduct. Sarah was completely ruined. Her career, her social standing, her carefully constructed facade, all shattered. The divorce proceedings were swift and brutal. With the overwhelming evidence of her infidelity and financial impropriety, she lost everything: the house, significant alimony, and even primary custody of the children, with supervised visitation. Her friends, once so eager to bask in her reflected glow, vanished. Her family, embarrassed and disgusted, distanced themselves. She was left with nothing but the bitter taste of her own deceit. I saw her once, months later, walking alone down a desolate street in downtown Los Angeles, near the old Broadway theaters. Her shoulders were slumped, her once vibrant hair dull, her eyes hollow. She didn't see me and I didn't approach. There was no triumph, no joy in her downfall, just a profound, chilling emptiness. The revenge was complete, but it left a scar on my soul that would never truly heal. The silence that followed was the loudest sound I had ever heard. The end.